Hello guys, my name is Jackie and I'm going to be reading with you all today for a quick tarot read. This video is aimed for whoever it is that is supposed to receive it by chance. Now I did a little pre-shuffling for this video, but pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to read as I go. I am a reader who reads intuitively, but I also like to read by definition and by like current events and themes as well. And the way that I have these cards set up in front of me is that I have 3 decks, okay? So this first deck is 12 cards pulled for the major arcanas to describe each astrological sign, all right? So this will, once pulled, this will help describe whoever it is that this video is for, all right? And then this deck right here is a 52 card deck with doubles of major arcana and minor arcana cards, which is pretty much the headlining cards of the reading. We'll talk about the main events and what's going on in the reading. And these would be the clarifying cards. This is called my Art Nouveau tarot deck. This will help clarify and pretty much break down the detail, break down the story of what's to happen, okay? Now, in my readings, I like to do hindsight, insight, and foresight descriptors to talk about what may be going on energetically rather than past, present, or future. It can be used interchangeably. You may hear me use it interchangeably, but my purpose in using past, present, and using hindsight, insight, and foresight energy instead of past, present, and future energy is to let you emphasize the energies that is being placed on these events, okay? Now, these energies may not resonate with everyone. That's totally fine. There's so many people on this planet. I think it would be impossible for me to get this to resonate with everybody. But the purpose of this is to pull cards and pretty much shuffle them at most random chance, because it's like I want to be able to come here to tell a story, you know, and I think that like with most stories they all have a meaning, you know, and I want to be able to share the meaning of the story and the underlying message for the person who needs this, so that they could probably have something to walk away from this video and think about in a positive way, like this resonates with me, and based off of those current events or whatever could have happened, I want to be able to apply that to, you know, whatever situation I have. And so I already did a lot of pre-shuffling for you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with this reading. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of water and move these other 2 decks out the way. I'm going to try my best to not be crusty with my voice. You know, I want you guys to hear me as best as possible, especially since I'm using my phone mic, so bear with me. And I do read intuitively, so if you do hear like a moment of silence, don't be afraid. I'm just processing the energies that come to me, okay? So like I said, I did shuffle these, but I'm gonna go ahead and just mix them up a bit. If it weren't just 12, I think these would be a little bit easier to shuffle, but so few of them that like, And I also have some selenite here. I have my amethyst here and a bigger chunk of rose quartz, as well as a few other crystals and rocks that resonate with me, but just pretty much to help clarify the space and put me in the right energy, the right mode to do these readings and be as like clairvoyant as possible. All right, so here we have, I just pulled, or 1 card just fell out from the 12 astrological arcanas, or major arcanas that I pulled for you guys. Okay, so let's check it out, all right? Now, we have the Lovers card. Fantastic. So the Lovers card is a card of duality. This is a card that talks about places that emphasize on communication and having like level relationships with people. And this card is very, very big on being Gemini energy, you know, knowing have a great and comfortable community around you, knowing how to maintain relationships, and definitely the emphasis of having two sides of you, you know. So this is who this reading is going to be for today. If you have any Gemini in your chart, this could be for your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. You know, we'll just have to play it out, but this is definitely a reading that's going to be emphasized for those Gemini energy, okay? Or even if you happen to be dealing with someone who is a Gemini, just keep that in mind during this reading, and I can help describe this story based on their perspective, okay? Oof. All right, so the first card already wanted to come out really badly. I'm not trying to shuffle these too much because I know this can get pretty loud. Pull that one out. And just because every card is not necessarily the most positive card, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means that these are potential blockages or obstacles that could be worked on. And I feel like life wouldn't, like, there's no good without bad, you know? So to face the truth, like if we see any of those, don't be alarmed. It just means that we have something to work around, you know. And seeing this in advance, we can definitely use it to our advantage. And it's funny because it's like right now it's this reading is timeless, but right now we're standing in the top of the year of 2022, and it's January, and we're still going through that Venus retrograde, which is really about a lot of processing old emotions. There may be a possibility for old relationships to come up, old romantic feelings to come up, things like that, like figuring out blockages in terms of emotions and discovering that side of yourself. And that will last until about the 29th of January, and I think that kind of like blends into what we would have following the end of January, beginning of February, which would be the Mercury retrograde, which is usually about, like, it's pretty much the same thing, but more so like in terms of communication. So still chances for like an ex-partner to come back, but okay, that's what I want to come out. But it's this Venus retrograde is definitely going to be focused on those emotions rather than actual communication. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this out the way. And so what we have for hindsight or past quote unquote energy, ooh, excuse my ashy hands, but what we have for hindsight energy is the Jack of Swords, or Jack of Spades, the Eight of Spades, and then the King of Hearts. Okay, so there's a little booklet that comes with this, and I like to talk about these descriptor words, but also I can break down these cards as well for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my booklet and talk about what each card is giving. If we're to talk about like chapters or phases, you know, this is like the what do you call it? What do you call like the beginning part of a book? The context, the table of context. This is like the table of context. So before we get into our story, as I like to put it, we have the Jack of Spades, which talks about caution or potential. So it looks like in this past energy, there's a focus on caution and potential. And then we have the Eight of Spades, which is about justice. It's just the Justice card, which talks about reason and fairness. And then we have the King of Hearts, which is described as sensitivity and creativity channeled into professional success. So that sounds pretty good going into to wrap up this story with. So let's get into it, Gemini. I'm gonna pull these cards to the side and go back to these later, but the first thing I'm gonna do is gonna go ahead and pull some clarifying cards for the Jack of Spades for you, that talks about that caution or cautious energy that we may be dealing with. So this is a Spades card, so this is definitely going to be air sign energy as well. So this is your energy, Gemini, or you may be dealing with a Libra or Aquarius as well. Or have Libra or Aquarius placement. But this will be pertaining to communication in some form or the other. So maybe someone is wanting to send a message. This is about a message that was being sent or received. Or maybe you're responding to some sort of information here. Some sort of information is being given. Something is being communicated here, or something was communicated, because this is past energy or hindsight energy. Okay, so something that was already being spoken to you. Now let's look at this first card. I'm gonna turn this upside down because it's in my direction and not the camera's. So we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about each of these energies just a little bit to kind of like help break down the story. So the Seven of Cups is a card of imagination, a card of fantasy. This could also be a card of like wishing for something, daydreaming, okay? Or dreams in itself. This is the World card. The World card could represent travel. It could represent change, a shift in your reality. Yeah. I also look at this card, and for some reason, this resonates the internet as well for me. Maybe because we're moving towards a more technological era, but it's like the collective environment that you'll be in. Okay. And then we have the Three of Cups, which is a celebration. It's a group of people, friendships as well. So when it comes to this Jack of Spades that talks about potential caution, maybe there's something that you were worried about in your past, but it's not necessarily giving me something that like that was heavy energy, to be honest. From these clarifying cards, just piecing it together. One moment. It's almost like this could be someone who was shy in their past, or somebody who was hesitant about their community, which is not really like Gemini energy, to be honest. But because like y'all talk all day, y'all love to be with y'all company. So this could be almost like somebody who's in their own head, and the reality that they created from being in their head, they kind of like I almost want to say it's like they may have shared that with their community. This could also be an energy of being hesitant to share your dreams and aspirations with your community, almost as if you think they might judge you. This is just an interesting combination of cards, to be honest. So when it comes to proceeding with caution, it's just honestly, these clarifying cards look so positive to me. They do. And it's not that necessarily like the Jack of Spades is a negative energy, but it is a little bit of a hesitant energy. energy, I would say, in the past, which looks like it has been overcame. It was overcome because with the 3 and the 7 here, that's 10, and that's a number of completion. But I want to dive into this a little bit more. I have a little booklet that talks about like different, I guess, perspectives and definitions on card as well. I'm gonna go ahead and break that down for you. Talk about each one. See if that helps clarify. So we have the 7 of Cups talking about, as I said before, illusions, daydreaming. This is also a card of I would say the Magician is a card of manifestation, but this is a card of like being able to visualize what it is that you want in life. In the book it says, before a desire can come into form, it exists as energetic potential. As you see in the cups in this card, which cup do you want to focus on? If you meditate and look within, your intuition will lead you towards what is most resonant as you consider all possibilities. Okay? Okay. So this could be a possibility of you having options or you wanting several things for yourself. There's several goals that you have in mind. And it could be a possible hesitancy towards it just picking one. That could also be a simpler option I see here. I'm pulling up the information for the World card. So what it reads here, it says, the world signifies the end of a cycle and reminds you that when you complete a project, you experience the rewards of your effort. Celebrate your wins and acknowledge how far you've come. There's excitement around what is yet to come, and you are now ready to begin a new journey from a place of empowerment and maturity. Interesting. So whatever it is that you've been thinking about in your past, I would definitely say it's time for you to start to take actionable steps towards it. Start to make this your reality. Start to implement even like the tiniest aspects of your dreams into everyday life to help make that your reality for you, okay? Especially since you have that cautious energy. It's like the World card is definitely saying like you're in a safe space to go ahead and follow your desires. And then we have the 3 of Cups card, which represents like friendships, togetherness, celebration. So it reads that the 3 of Cups urges you to have more fun, be playful, and focus on spending time with friends or family. Connecting with others is a great stress reliever and rejuvenates your spirit. Indulge in the activities that feel expansive and joyous, surrounded by people who uplift and inspire you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like that. So it kind of does make a lot of sense for what we have going on in terms of this Jack of Spades card, because it's almost like and if I could say so, it's almost like it's ringing more so on the side of potential. Like maybe knowing that you were hesitant to accomplish a goal, but starting to see the potential in yourself. Like that's what you've been dealing with in the past. Like you were visualizing what it is that you wanted for yourself, and maybe having some difficulty like piecing that together and making that a reality and applying that to your reality. But now it's time to communicate your dreams and aspirations with your friends so that you can start to manifest your potential and start to take action in your dreams, you know, kind of like leave behind that feeling of like fear and start recognizing that like what you have isn't necessarily lack, it is potential to gain. It's potential to have more. So Gemini, for those who may be watching for Gemini, it looks like this past energy that one was stepping into out of was definitely about recognizing one's own strengths and being able to share that with the people around you, because the people around you are definitely going to support you, and whatever it is that you want to do, they're going to help emphasize your skill sets in that area of life to help you build more confidence in it. Now we have the insight energy, which talks about what is currently going on with you. So this Eight of Heart or Eight of Spades also represents balance, leverage, being even. This is also Libra energy, so it could be also about knowing how to acknowledge fairness in a situation, reacting with like the steady temperament as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the clarifying cards for this card as well. We'll have the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Empress. And just because I read from that past booklet, I think I'll read from it again. I kind of like that method. It definitely offers more thought, but I'm also going to intuitively read these as well. I'm going to start by intuitively reading these, and then we'll go into clarifying the current energy, okay? So, with this being said, we have the Knight of Swords. This is a card that takes action very swiftly, very quickly, in regards to trying to either get more information or just trying to send information as quickly as possible, or maybe even acquire information as quickly as possible, or distribute information as quickly as possible. And then we have the Eight of Wands, which is a card that intuitively to me represents opportunities coming your way, okay? And then we have the Empress card, which represents strong feminine energy. And it doesn't necessarily mean feminine as if you have to be a woman, but like if you are a woman, that's okay. This is about talking about like jumping into knowing how to understand your subconscious, okay? So it's about knowing how to take control of the parts of you that maybe have been hurt before, and nurturing those to put you in a mindset that lets you forgive and move on. I don't want to say forget, but forgive and move forward, you know? And use that energy that you have to almost like care and nurture your environment around you, okay? To move with the grace and let go of things that like kind of like may have irritated you or bothered you. These things don't have to simmer within you anymore. Like they can blow off, you know, and you can still like magnify the beauty that you have outside of whatever experience that you have been through, okay? So this is definitely about knowing how to maneuver your problems, maneuver your situation, especially with this card being the Justice card. So I'll go ahead and read the clarifying, I guess, definitions of these and talk some more for you. So for the Knight of Swords, it reads, the Knight of Swords may represent a situation that must be dealt with head on, indicating that confrontation cannot be avoided. Perhaps it is asking to be more assertive or to focus on your goal with all of your available energy. This card may also point toward a person in your life who is trying to get you to engage in drama. Your intuition will guide you to who or what this swiftly moving energy represents in your life. Okay? So, if you are dealing with somebody who has gossip or drama, this is one of those situations that is almost like flagging you to take heed of the situation, have balance in the situation. Do not participate in the drama. I don't know if y'all know. Okay, like, y'all Geminis, I'm pretty sure y'all do because y'all have great compatibility, but like, I don't know a single Libra that's gonna sit there and argue back and forth with somebody. Libras are very level-headed. Like, if you try to pull some like drama out of them, they gonna look at you crazy and probably just walk away or fall back. Libras are not the type of people who will just get engaged in the bullshit. Excuse my language, but they are very graceful people. So if there's one thing to take away from the energy of the Libra, is just to know how to pick and choose your battles. Like, know which battles are for you and know which ones to leave behind. The Eight of Wands, this middle card right here, it reads, there's an element of spontaneity in the Eight of Wands that gets you excited for an event that's on the verge of happening. This may involve travel or a new person coming into your life. Events move quickly and everything falls into place without you needing to push for a particular outcome. Relax and ride the wave of excitement. So maybe it is whatever it is that's coming your way, or whoever it is that's coming your way that has this information, maybe they're coming your way to kind of like distract you, especially with, like I said, Venus retrograde being into play. This person might be coming around just to kind of like set off your energy here, and it's gonna come quickly, you know. So definitely pay attention to who or what news may be coming, and just let it happen. Like, and I don't want to say like let it happen and be like passive about it, but like move with it, you know. Like, be open to the changes that this situation is going to bring for you, because if you maneuver it in the right way, it can definitely be a positive change. And then the Empress card reads, the Empress emanates a powerful energy of receiving rather than taking. You can allow what is being birthed in your life to take time without rushing or forcing it. The Empress is relaxed, trusting that her passion and creativity produces a powerful magnetism that attracts everything that she desires. So yeah, definitely big Libra energy going on here. And I know, as I said, that this reading is for Gemini, and I definitely feel like this reading is still for a Gemini, but it is definitely telling you to like move towards your Libran counterparts, okay? Have grace. Don't be too reactive, you know, especially since the fact that things are moving quickly. Like, know how to like manage that balance there, you know, because I know that Geminis definitely have two sides of them. So even though one side may want to react right away, use the part of you that is more because it's like that you guys have like more of a way to communicate externally, or you just overthink, you know. And I'm not gonna say like overthinking is a bad thing, especially not in this scenario. What I'm saying is that if something comes your way, instead of speaking up right away, give it time, and move slowly, and think about what's to come to you before you react, because if you do, this will help the situation come out in a more favorable way. So whatever it is that you were dreaming about or hoping for in your past, it is definitely possible for it to manifest for you, especially even if it comes. So if somebody comes to you with like a romantic offer right away, say if your ex just pop up out of nowhere, you know, you don't have to make that decision right away. Maybe not ignore them, you know, but say if they're like, hey, do you want to go out, you know, after not hearing back from your ex for like 3 or 4 months? You don't gotta say no. You don't gotta say yes right away, especially if your feelings are unsure. Let them know, like, oh wow, this is such a surprise. I got so much on my hands right now. Can you just give me a moment to think about it? I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Simple. That gives you space to think about your actions, move with grace, and still be able to let them know that they were heard and they were received, while also allowing you to take action and take matters into your own hands, okay? So I definitely like that. I definitely like that, because it's like, you know, knowing how to communicate in this way will help make things more favorable for you during this time. Okay, Gemini? Oh, man, my hands are so dry. I've washed my hands like 300 times today, guys. Excuse me. I'm a little embarrassed, but it's okay. You know, it's cold weather season. And then we have the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts is someone who usually knows how to manage their emotions pretty well. They're a pretty stable person. They're pretty, like, I would say, like, almost humanitarian energy. They take good care of the people that surround them. And so for this to be foresight energy, I think that's a pretty beautiful concept, Gemini, because it's like, even though you have some personal things that you may have wanted to look forward to doing for yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to neglect the people around you in order to get what you want. It actually looks that, like, if you are able to pretty much gently assert your own boundaries and your needs in a way that's very balanced and leveraged, you could definitely have success with the people that you're with, communicating with. So may that be a romantic situation, or it can be friendship, even work. There will be a lot of success here in terms of the community that you are with. Okay. So it looks like, even though you may be someone who is really good at communicating and having a good community around you, you know, definitely being one to be able to take the lead, there may be times where you feel like there's more work to be done. There be times where it's like there are questions left unanswered. Maybe if you want to, you're the type of person to have a list and set down some goals, especially with this being so early in the year. This is the time of the year that people usually write down New Year's resolutions. Don't stress yourself out if not all goals get done as soon as you want to. Just continue to work, just continue to try, okay? Because even though you will face some people who will cross you and not necessarily agree with all of your actions, or maybe even sometimes have not the most positive things to say about you as a result of your actions, you don't necessarily have to always dwell on those situations. Sometimes it hurts. It hurts to be able to think that you have a community and think that the people that you had on your side didn't always have the best intentions for you. But no matter how many people that you lost, you still have, like, they can't take your everything. You hear me, Gemini? There is still always going to be some sort of sustenance at the end of your situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and clarify these 3 clarifying cards for the King of Hearts energy for you as well, and talk about it. Because I remember this one saying it was about sensitivity and creative channeled into professional success. So let's talk about how these energies do look like potential blockages that could come your way for as far as foresight energy. But let's talk about how to overcome these rather than dwelling on them as like things that could be happening at fault, because this is a card that is talking about graduation and talking about future, you know, and talking about basically knowing how to do what you do best, which is communication, Gemini, and know how to use that to your advantage. So, in this position that this card is in, the 8 of Pentacles, it could be a feeling of burned out. You may be considering leaving your job or feeling uneasy about your career path that you've chosen for yourself. Do you feel as if you're working really hard and have achieved nothing meaningful? Be honest with yourself when you remember that. When you answer this tough question, remember that it's never too late to begin again, okay? So even though things have not been working for you in the way that you desired, it just means that you have to continue to put in some effort here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's failing or that it's not for you. Some things just take more time, so definitely exercise your abilities here. And then as we have here, the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords in this reading suggests that you have been allowing the thoughts and opinions of others to weigh too heavily on you. This may prevent you from receiving clear messages from your intuition. In order to reach decisions that are aligned with your true self, turn down the volume of other voices and tune into your own inner monologue. And I like that because it's like we live in a society where, especially on like when the information becomes public, people feel like they have a right to have a say on what goes on in your life. And like this can definitely feel like an especially critical time for whatever it is that you might be trying to do creatively or professionally, because even though you are putting in a lot of work for yourself, there could be a part of you that recognizes that you are not where you want to be. Fortunately, that does not mean that the people around you who, you know, who feel like they have a say in what goes on in your life, it doesn't mean that their words matter. You know, these people's words don't necessarily have value. If anything, these people's words can only hinder you. Like listening to the thoughts and the perspective of other people can only hinder you in this path. So you really need to learn how to walk away from that, or not allow yourself to allow other people's judgments of you to dictate your reality. That's very important in order for you to continue to acquire success for you and manifest what it is that you have planned ahead of you. And then the last card that we have in the clarifier is the 5 of Cups, but again, this is in the reverse card, representing a potential blockage. Okay, so I'm gonna read about this as well. So the reverse 5 of Cups in this reading is a hopeful sign, showing that you have turned a corner in how you perceive your situation, saying the silver lining is accepting the truth puts you on the path to healing and growth. So I like that because it's like, it's definitely being able to recognize that, like, even though things may have not been turning out in your favor, there's still some hope there. There's still some optimism there. And with this card being like the highlighting chapter of the card, it means like, yeah, you're going to get that potential career success or creative inspiration that you're looking for. It's just about talking about what obstacles may come across you on that journey. And if you don't experience that's totally fine, you know. But if you feel like at any point that like the work you're doing, even if it is, you know, even if you are creating or doing wonderful work, you know, sometimes we have like a little bit of that imposter syndrome, and it makes us feel like what we're doing is not even enough, you know. And it always sucks to have somebody in your ear, or Gemini being Gemini is you in your own ear. Yeah, I called you on it. Don't let that evil twin inside of you, that negative part of your voice tell you what you don't need to be hearing. Okay, you need to put that on mute and let it go, because this is definitely a time when you could definitely be accomplishing what it is that you want to achieve. So just in summary, I'm going to wrap this up now, but just in summary, Gemini, this is a card that may talk about feeling hesitancy towards your skill set, your actions, and definitely needing to exercise sharing that with the people around you, you know. And that's probably something that you've already been doing, talking to people about what it is that you want, talking about your goals, and even though people always say, and I hate saying this on social media, but like stay quiet, like or they say something like you need to move in silence. That don't work for everybody, you know, especially since it's like words are definitely manifestors. They help people put into reality what they want to go on, you know. So even if you're the type of person who complains a lot, you need to cut that out, because it's only going to be hindering you more than anybody else's word is going to be hindering you. But this is the time for you to say what it is that you want and then go for it, for sure. And then when you aren't going for it, you know, because it's like once you speak out your goals, yes, there will be haters. There will be people who are not necessarily going to be in favor of what you have going on, especially if they are still focusing on the lack that they have. You need to understand to like respond to those situations reasonably. If somebody is trying to put you down, don't allow that to get to you. If anything, respond to a way that's graceful and classy. Don't insult them. Don't be mean. Don't be petty or bitter, you feel me? Because we all have that side to us. But Gemini, when you want to turn it on, you turn it on, and you can get cold. But you don't need to do that, Gemini. You are a very graceful and beautiful person. You are very kind-hearted energies, okay? So definitely feel like you can exercise that side of you, but exercise balance. You know, don't be overly nice and don't give too much. Know how to you know, allow your frustrations to like fuel you in the best kind of way, but then also use your confidence to guide you in a way that keeps you graceful and humble, you know. And then moving forward for the future, you'll definitely be able to acquire the things that you want. And even though you definitely probably still have those people who got something to say, always gotta add the 2% that they don't need to add. It's okay. You don't have to focus on them. And even if you feel like you are at a low point anytime in your future, it doesn't mean that you are. That is the emphasis of the reading. Like, you are not just low because you're feeling low, because other people around you are not seeing your successes or celebrating your successes in the way that you want them to. Because it is time for you to start celebrating the tiny things too. But definitely, Gemini, use your natural skill of communication and duality to your advantage, okay? So thank you so much for those of you who watched all the way to the end of the video. If any part of this resonates with you, definitely like and comment, okay? Let's talk. Let's get chatty, all right? Because I love doing these readings, because it's like not only do I get to give an understanding of another perspective, even if a situation is not necessarily mine, I always feel like I resonate with a little bit of something from the reading, and just like an outside source. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.